What is up, guys? Today we're going to be installing my Takeda intake on my Lexus RCF. This will be my first mod to the car because I haven't modded it yet. This is my first time buying something for it. It has an exhaust from the previous owner, but let's get to it. So this is the OEM intake. It honestly is pretty restrictive. The easiest thing about replacing something is taking it off. Putting it on, remembering where everything goes, that's gonna be the hardest part. I took this out of the way. It's annoying me. Obviously, the first thing that's gotta come off are these clips right here. And these are the most annoying things ever on rusty cars, but this one is not rusty. So let's see if we can pry these off with ease, like butter. Working on new cars is so fun. So you're never really gonna catch me with some fancy tools. I bought this thing off TikTok shop for 30 bucks. And this thing works like a dream. Like, all right, whatever. I got that clamp off, but I didn't see there's a little sneaky one right there. I'll get that one off, and then this elbow should be able to just come straight off. Let's hope. There she goes, just like that. Also, this Takeda filter and intake use the OEM box, and it just hooks up just like that. So the only thing else we have left to take off is this other half of the intake right there. Okay, that was easy. It's just, all you gotta do is move these two clips over. So let's take out this garbage paper filter. This thing looks like it was from the factory in 2015. Trash. And we got to get the whatever sensor that comes on here nowadays. Just two Phillips head screwdrivers, and it screws on to the new pipe we got over there. Look how dirty it is underneath my intake right here. That is a dead lizard. Bunch of leaves and just sand everywhere though. So I'm glad I'm doing this now, even if it's to replace it with something aftermarket, because a dead lizard is crazy. I got the whatever MAF sensor out. I'm not going to show y'all me unscrewing two screws, but I don't know. It looks like something broke there. They just put a zip tie on it. I just got to snip that off, and then after that, we're putting on the new intake. One of the reasons I actually liked this intake is because it comes with a blue intake pipe. It matches the blue intake manifold on my very nice blue RCF. So honestly, this one over the AEM one has a carbon cover, and it's not like boxed in. This one uses the OEM box, so nothing can go wrong, hopefully. So the first part of installing this is fitting the coupler that AFE gives you. And it's going to be very hard to do this with one hand, so you get the idea. Go ahead. Before I put this pipe in there, I already got the one coupler on. I'm going to go ahead and put the MAP sensor back inside so I don't have to worry about it because it's on the bottom. So the thing I noticed that is pretty cool, there is an arrow engraved, and then there's an arrow on the MAP sensor. So make sure those arrows are both facing the same way, or else it won't work correctly. One thing we will have to do before continuing is reroute these hoses right here so they can actually go on the spots that are designated. I noticed that it looked a little off from the OEM one, but I'm gonna have to look at the instructions for this because there's no way I'm doing this just off my thoughts. Before I take those hoses off and reroute them, I was gonna put this in there. And if you guys are having any trouble trying to fit this in there, keep in mind that there's these little things, rubber grommets, whatever you want to call them. You push the intake as far as you can in, and then it will snap in place, and it'll allow you to be able to fit it inside of the air box. Another thing, I'm not really an instructions guy. I haven't read anything up until now for the air hoses, of course, but I would take your OEM air filter, air guide off, because I don't think you're fitting in there without it. And these two plugs right here are very close to the intake, so I took those off as well, and I was able to fit it in. I got the intake fully installed. To be honest, it was really hard trying to fight that plug and get it back into the map sensor. But I did it after I installed the intake tube. I just fiddled with it down there and got it in. So pause. The only thing I have left to do is reroute these 2 hoses. So I got to take off that bolt, that bolt, that bolt, and that bolt, and then move them around so they'll actually fit on the intake, and then we're done. So this is how they want you to route the hoses. Originally, this one was up here and went through here. All you have to do, you don't have to lift this thing up all the way. You'll be doing too much work. Just lift it up just enough for you to pry the hose over and then into this spot right here. And this one, you literally just drag over and it'll be right on spot. So that is the intake fully installed. This is the fully finished product. Excuse the dirtiness, but I got everything snapped together. The only thing I can say about this is when you're putting on the cover, or at least putting back on the cover, it will have trouble trying to fit right there just because of how the hose is angled. But other than that, it looks great. So I don't believe there'll be any like major sound difference between this intake and the old one, but I will record some videos. I'll put them right after I'm done talking. So have a good one.